Somebody give me 200,000, I make 50, give me 200,000, man. Start running about the city, man. You been working with the wrong, you been going about this the wrong way. Give me the money. Yeah, I'm running about the city, man.
Everyone's talking about Diddy's latest drama, thanks to Freddy P from Making Da Band. Freddy has called out Diddy for controlling things behind the scenes. This isn't just about music. It's about how it affects the artists' lives and dreams. This shows us how tough the music industry can be when one person has too much power. Could Diddy have more victims of manipulation coming forward? Join us as we reveal Freddy P's traumatic experience working with the famous producer. Number 1. Diddy and his one true friend. Imagine all of Diddy's friends in one car, all looking away pretending they see nothing. Really, who would rather spend their days in a courtroom instead of enjoying the sunshine? Apparently not Ashton Kutcher, who has been distancing himself from Diddy for a while, much thanks to his wife, Mila Kunis. The Daily Mail even highlighted that despite Ashton's decades-long friendship with Diddy, he's keeping his distance now, especially with Cassie Ventura's lawsuit hanging over them, and he might even be expecting a subpoena. Will Ashton spill anything? What do you think? Pop your thoughts in the comments. Will he talk or stay silent? While all this is happening, Diddy isn't just twiddling his thumbs. He's been spotted with Stevie J, casually biking around South Beach. Seems like he's squeezing in all the fun he can before possibly facing a trial. Imagine having the resources to just enjoy your days in the sun while trouble brews. Let's talk about something that's just totally wild. Think about your own job for a second. You've got co-workers who barely even say hi to you. And then there's Diddy, right in the middle of some serious accusations. Yet he's still getting applause and taking selfies while hanging out with Stevie J as if he's heading off into a glorious sunset. It really gets you thinking, doesn't it? There you are, always on time, working hard. And if you even thought about biking to work, you'd be the butt of jokes. Not some kind of hero. It's just a crazy upside-down world we're living in. On one hand, you've got folks like Freddy P who have had enough of Diddy, saying out loud how exhausting it's been to deal with him.
Yeah, you was the quiet one that didn't care, man. You ain't care who Diddy was, man. But I gotta ask you, speaking of Diddy, how you feel about the situation he going through right now?
It was to me honestly, and this ain't no slight. It's just I like to see people get.
Our other channel, SCE, talked about this, but I'll give you a quick rundown of what Freddy P shared about his tough times with Diddy. But hold on, because that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's even more madness to talk about. We can't just skip past Stevie J's bold call-out to 50 Cent. Stevie looks like he's ready to throw down.
And then it's like with guys like 50, you know what I'm saying? Like Uncle Tom, cats like that.
And how does 50 respond? With his typical sharp-tongued remarks. This clash is shaping up to be something everyone will be talking about soon.
What you say about me? Why I'm always on your page? What you say about me?
Isn't it strange how celebrities live in such a different world? Imagine if your everyday ups and downs were public entertainment. Where in your world, showing up and doing your job might barely get a nod. But in the celebrity sphere, even the controversies turn into moments for the spotlight. It really shows how different life can be, depending on where you stand. Sometimes it feels like the rules that apply to the rest of us just don't seem to hold the same weight in the glitzy world of fame. It's a mix of glitz, drama, and real life that keeps the gossip columns and our conversations buzzing. Also, have you ever wondered what a party thrown by Diddy is like? Well, we've got insider info coming up. It's exactly what you might expect from a high-profile celebrity bash. Glamorous, wild, and absolutely over the top. We'll give you a virtual tour of a typical night out with Diddy and his crew, filled with all the glitz and glamour that you'd anticipate from a celebrity of his caliber. Meanwhile, as Diddy savors his pre-trial freedom, let's not forget about those who have decided to keep their distance. Ashton Kutcher, once a close buddy, is now nowhere to be seen. And it's not just him. Many of Diddy's longtime associates are stepping back, reconsidering their positions and opting for a quieter life away from the drama and potential legal battles.
2 homes owned by rapper Sean P. Diddy are being raided by authorities as part of an investigation.
So, what's your take on all this? Is Diddy just living it up while he can, or is there a strategy behind his public appearances? And what about Ashton Kutcher? Will he end up revealing details if he's dragged into the legal mess?
We are aware of the pain that has been caused by the character letters that we wrote on behalf of Danny Mess.
Share your predictions, your laughs, or your disbelief. Welcome to the harsh realities of the music industry, where climbing to the top can be cut short abruptly if you refuse to play the game by the unspoken rules set by those in power. Today, we delve deep into this troubling dynamic, highlighting how some of the industry giants manipulate and control the paths of aspiring talents. Let's start with a fundamental issue plaguing many artists, especially within the Black community. Instead of helping one another climb the ladder of success, there's a disturbing amount of competition, suppression, and sabotage. This toxic environment isn't just tough, it's mentally and emotionally draining, pushing many to their limits. Imagine reaching your career's peak, only to have it all taken away because you didn't want to flatter or appease the right people. Now picture a person who's been through the ringer, facing jail time, scraping by in the streets, and constantly dodging trouble. This person has struggled just to survive without a single felony to their name, despite being tempted by illegal ways to make ends meet. They've tried to live a regular life, but even simple tasks like applying for a job become monumental challenges due to their reputation and past. This person comes from a place where survival isn't guaranteed, where each day is a battle. They've seen their neighborhood exploited by outsiders who come in, shoot glamorous videos, and leave without making any real contributions. These visitors promise the world, use the community's unique culture for their gain, and then disappear, leaving nothing but empty promises behind. Let's dive deeper into how these celebrity stories affect the stars and everyone around them. Number 2, the secrets of the music world. It's a pretty sad situation. Local people are often just used as scenery for music videos. Their real challenges and lives are turned into something for everyone else to watch and enjoy. What do they get out of it? Basically, nothing worthwhile. No real help, no progress. Just a quick flash of fame that disappears as fast as it came. Let's dig into the financial side of things. How the money flows and who actually ends up seeing any of it. In the music industry, it frequently seems like the only ones making real money are the folks at the top. Let's look at Diddy, for instance.
This is his new LP. It's called The Love Album, Off the Grid. Please welcome Sean Diddy Combs.
While some big names like Jay-Z have apparently helped their whole squads climb the ladder, turning their right-hand people into millionaires, the story seems quite different around Diddy. You keep hearing about the millions he's raking in, but the tales of those around him benefiting from these huge sums are noticeably missing. Where are the uplifting stories about the people Diddy has helped rise up? You really don't see them. This scenario points us toward a much larger problem of greed and taking advantage of others. Many who hold power in the music industry seem to view their artists and partners not as talents to be developed, but as assets to be used up. The main focus tends to be on making money, gaining more power and personal benefits, rather than on helping everyone involved succeed and grow together. It's really sad to think about how this all plays out. Talented individuals and hard-working teams behind the scenes often remain in the shadows, with their contributions unrecognized. Meanwhile, the big players continue to flaunt their wealth and success. This creates a cycle where the rich get richer, and those at the bottom struggle to make a mark. The reality is that while the glamour and glitz might seem appealing from the outside, the music industry has a layer of exploitation that affects many, leaving them without the rewards they truly deserve. But the problems don't stop with financial disparities. Those who dare to speak out against these practices or attempt to walk away typically find themselves ostracized or blacklisted. Doors close, Opportunities dry up, and suddenly, they're left out in the cold, all because they chose to stand up for themselves or refuse to engage in the cutthroat tactics demanded by the industry elites. The music business, for all its glitz and glamour, can be a world of shadowy deals and broken dreams.
When I was 19, I came up with this saying: don't be afraid to close your eyes and dream, but then open your eyes and see.
It's a place where your worth is measured not by your talent or dedication, but by your willingness to submit to the whims of those above you. It's a system designed to keep the powerful in power and the hopeful under thumb. For those considering a career in this dazzling but dangerous field, take this as a cautionary tale. Look beyond the fame and the flashy lifestyles portrayed in music videos and magazine covers. Understand that for every superstar living the dream, there are countless others whose dreams have been crushed under the weight of manipulation, deceit, and betrayal. This isn't just an issue for those in the industry. It's a reflection of broader societal problems where exploitation and inequality are rampant. As consumers and fans, it's crucial to be aware of the realities behind the music we enjoy and the stories of those who create it. We must demand better for our artists, pushing for an industry that uplifts, supports, and respects everyone's contributions. As we continue to peel back the layers of this glamorous world, let's not be dazzled by its surface. Let's challenge the norms, question the practices, and advocate for a music industry that values integrity and fairness just as much as it does talent and creativity. This is the only way to ensure that the music we love is the result of healthy, supportive, and ethical practices. Take a good look around. Diddy is the last man standing while everyone else from Jay-Z's circle made it big and moved on. We're talking about the likes of Beanie Siegel, Dan, Big Cap, and plenty more who've all managed to make a pretty penny. But there's Diddy, somehow keeping his pockets full without any noticeable skills. What he's fantastic at isn't music. It's using others for his gain, handpicking who gets to be heard and who doesn't. He's got an ear for what sells, sure. He hears something good, snatches it up, and serves it to the masses dressed up in his own brand. He's been the guy at the door, the one deciding who gets a shot, feeding off everyone else's hard work while they do the heavy lifting. Now, why is he richer than those bursting with raw talent? He's essentially taking their potential earnings right out of their pockets. You have to wonder why his family is living in luxury, while those who actually create are left wanting. His business methods are nothing short of shameful. He's built an empire on the backs of others, and now that people are catching on, he's finding it harder to climb higher. He's no longer the go-to guy. The industry has seen through his game. He's just a parasite in the world of hip-hop. And then there's the ridiculous errands. He sent a group all the way to Brooklyn just to fetch him cheesecake, walking miles as if it's some kind of heroic quest, when in reality, it's a display of power, his way to show he's in charge. It's clear as day. He uses these tasks to stroke his ego, making himself feel more important than he is. When people push back or question him, he hides behind his swagger, insisting they either fall in line with his demands or get lost. Freddy P's response online was telling. He wants nothing to do with Diddy's antics anymore. After years of seeing through the facade of generosity and support, all Freddy asked was for Diddy to make things right with past collaborators like Danity Kane and Day 26. Instead, they and many others under his label have been left high and dry, never securing a second deal. Freddy's plea isn't about causing drama. It's about demanding accountability for years of neglect and false promises. It's not just about one or two people feeling disgruntled. The issue runs deeper. Many talented artists under Diddy's wing have been let down, their careers stagnating before they could ever truly take off. Freddy's words cut deep, not out of spite, but from a place of genuine frustration and a desire for justice. Diddy might package his leadership as visionary, spouting motivational lines and setting high expectations.
And I want to thank everybody here from the bottom of my heart that really cared about me. And we are a musical family, and we have to be there for each other.
But those who have worked with him know better. They've felt the sting of his neglect and the burden of his unfulfilled promises. After uncovering layers of lies, we continue to explore the darker corners of the entertainment industry. Number 3. Tough times in Diddy's empire. Every bitter word, every tear shed by those he's wronged, tells a story not of inspiration, but of exploitation. People are tired of the flashy facade and the long walks meant to teach lessons. They see them for what they are. Empty gestures meant to feed Diddy's ego rather than support genuine talent. Behind the glamour and the big talk, there's a trail of unmet potential and disillusioned artists. As this saga unfolds, more voices join the chorus, sharing their stories of disappointment. From grand gestures that lead nowhere to opportunities that turn out to be dead ends, the pattern is clear. Diddy's approach to business has often been less about lifting others and more about maintaining his own status. As the narrative continues, the community watches, waits, and hopes for a change in the tide. The need for genuine leadership and support in the industry is palpable, echoing through the calls for change from those once silenced by the promise of fame under Diddy's guidance. In the end, the image of Diddy as a mentor and mogul starts to crack, revealing not a benevolent leader but a businessman who has often prioritized his own success at the expense of true talent. The stories accumulate, painting a picture of missed opportunities and hard lessons learned too late. The hip-hop community begins to question and challenge the norms that allowed such disparities in success and support, sparking debates and discussions on the true cost of fame and fortune in an industry rife with cutthroat practices. Through all of this, the real question remains: can the industry evolve beyond these exploitative practices, or will it continue to celebrate the few at the expense of the many? As people ponder this, they look towards future possibilities, hoping for a shift towards more equitable and supportive practices that honor and nurture real talent instead of exploiting it for profit. Imagine a man who has made a fortune, towering over $100 million. Yet, there's someone who feels deeply wronged by him, thinking this rich man could have guided him away from bad choices. Instead, he finds himself waking up in anguish, sweating through nightmares, and he can't shake off the feeling that the rich man is somewhat to blame for not leading him away from trouble. Despite this, he openly admits that he isn't owed anything. However, the sight of the rich man's children spending money lavishly strikes a nerve, especially when his own child lacks similar privileges. This disparity in lifestyle doesn't just sit right with him, it feels deeply unfair. Now think about this for a moment. Society has an unhealthy obsession with appearances. People are too caught up in showing off their wealth, wearing expensive clothes and flaunting luxury, rather than focusing on building genuine character or integrity. This observation was sharply noted by a man frustrated with the superficial values prevalent today. He made a memorable statement about the importance of valuing what's inside rather than what's on the outside. However, reflecting on this man's statement becomes even more poignant when you consider his nickname, the Diddler.
Who is it most indebted to? As y'all all reflect on this industry and where it is, which is where nobody ever thought it would be, as a multi-billion-dollar industry, for crying out loud. Who's it most indebted to?
This nickname hints at a dubious past filled with rumors and allegations that have shadowed him for over a decade. It's a stark warning to everyone. Be cautious about what lies beneath the surface gloss of people known for their wealth and power. Over the years, the tales of misconduct surrounding this rich man have piled up. It's bewildering that despite knowing his controversial reputation, which includes numerous accusations and whispers of wrongdoing spanning 2 decades, people still choose to associate with him. Those who do seem to be either ignoring the past or are perhaps too caught up in the allure of his wealth and status. It begs the question of why anyone would willingly entangle themselves with his notorious antics at this point. Whether through shout-outs or serious debates, it becomes evident that our discussions are more than just talk. They're a reflection of our values, our fears, and our hopes. They challenge us to look deeper and think harder about the kind of world we're creating with our actions and choices. They prompt us to consider if we're focusing on the right things, on what truly enriches us as individuals and as a society, rather than what simply makes us appear wealthy or successful. With each secret revealed, the story gets darker. Now we'll look at the consequences of celebrity actions and the high cost of a glamorous life. Number 4. Inside millionaire celebrities' legal fights. Now, what if Diddy wasn't the only big shot trying to silence things with a lot of cash? Let's be honest. If huge celebrities like Trump and Epstein couldn't dodge the Fed's spotlight, would Diddy stand a better chance? There's a buzz that Cassie has been talking to federal authorities for several weeks, and this all started even before the authorities raided Diddy's properties.
Law enforcement sources are telling ABC News that right now authorities are carrying out searches at properties associated with P. Diddy. This is all part of a federal investigation into human trafficking.
It looks like they were onto something pretty serious, which probably explains why they moved so quickly to raid his places. Think about the others who might be involved. It's likely that there are more people like Diddy using their money to quiet down others and keep their images clean. We have seen it happen over and over with celebrities and powerful people. They often try to use their money to make problems go away before things get too heated. Moreover, consider the broader impact of these actions. Every time a celebrity uses their wealth to silence someone, it sends a message that money can manipulate justice. This isn't just bad for the people directly involved. It damages everyone's trust in the system. People start thinking that if you have enough money, you can get away with anything. That's not how things should work. In addition, this saga is a big deal because it shows us just how interconnected money, power, and legal issues are. It's a tangled web that often traps more than just the main players. As bystanders, we see these stories unfold and wonder about the integrity of those involved. We're forced to question the fairness of our systems and whether true accountability is just a fantasy for those with enough cash to dodge it. Let's unpack this celebrity drama that seems more like a soap opera than real life. Reports are buzzing that Cassie walked away with a whopping $50 million from her settlement. That's a lot of cash, and it's setting tongues wagging. The guy we all knew as Brother Love might soon need a new nickname, because trouble seems to be finding him fast. All right, let's put the spotlight on Stevie J for a moment. You might recall, he's been itching for a fight with 50 Cent, claiming he wants all the drama.
And then it's like with guys like 50, you know what I'm saying? Like Uncle Tom cats like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, now you want to put me, I don't know if y'all saw the post where 50 posted about me, of course you guys.
But let's be honest, Stevie J should be more concerned with bigger problems that are lurking around the corner, given the current climate with law enforcement looking closely at celebs like him.
I said, am I under arrest? They said, no, you're not. Let me let you go. Boom. Let me go check your bags. You don't have any weapons and all. I'm like, I don't have any weapons.
He's talking big about boxing 50 Cent for charity. But honestly, when celebrities start talking about fighting in the ring, it's usually a sign they're out of better ideas. And 50 Cent? He's not even entertaining the idea seriously. He casually dismissed Stevie with a joke about making it past his security, and everyone had a good laugh. Think about it. These guys are over 40, trying to throw down like they're still young. It's almost sad to see. When grown men, well past their prime, attempt to duke it out, it doesn't look cool. It looks desperate. Professional fighters? Sure, they look like they belong in the ring, but Stevie J and potentially 50 Cent? It comes off as a last-ditch effort to grab some attention. 50 Cent, known for his sharp tongue, made light of Stevie J's challenge, essentially telling him it would be more of a challenge to get close enough to actually start a fight. This is typical of 50, always ready with a quick, dismissive comeback, highlighting just how trivial he finds the whole situation. But let's not gloss over the reality here. These are not young, agile athletes. These are middle-aged men, and the idea of them engaging in a physical fight is more concerning than entertaining. There's a real risk of injury, which isn't something to take lightly. It's one thing for professional athletes to risk their health in the ring. It's another for celebrities to do it for a few headlines. And what's driving this? It seems like a deep-seated need to remain relevant in an industry that's quick to move on to the next big thing. Celebrities, especially those whose star power might be waning, often find themselves doing outrageous things just to keep the public's attention. It's a tough pill to swallow, realizing that the spotlight isn't as bright as it used to be, but these public spectacles often do more harm than good. Let's think about what fame does to people. Join us as we consider the impacts of celebrity culture. Number 5. The heavy cost of staying famous. Stevie J challenging 50 Cent to a fight seems like a pretty rash move, almost like he's trying to show everyone he's still tough and matters in the game. But picking a fight with someone who's famously survived several gunshot wounds, including one to his head, doesn't just seem unwise. It's bordering on reckless. 50 Cent isn't just any random guy. He's someone who's lived through serious, life-threatening situations, and his tough image is definitely not just an act. Stevie J suggests they settle this in a charity boxing ring, which might look good at first glance, like it's all for a noble cause. But really, the subtext is pretty clear. This isn't about doing something good with the money. It's more about two older stars trying to prove they've still got it, either to themselves or to everyone else watching. The idea of watching celebrities duke it out might seem intriguing or entertaining at first, but the underlying truth is not so pretty. It's about a kind of desperation, a fear of becoming irrelevant, and the extreme lengths some people will go to just to avoid admitting that maybe their best days in the spotlight are behind them. As celebrities get old, they often struggle with the idea of not being in the center of attention anymore, and they might take on extreme challenges or create public spectacles to keep the public's eyes on them. It shows a deeper insecurity that comes with fame, the worry that once they're no longer seen as vital or important, they'll be forgotten. This saga isn't just a trivial piece of celebrity gossip. It's a window into the darker side of fame, where the pressure to remain on top can drive people to make questionable decisions. It's a reflection of a culture that often values spectacle over substance, where the fleeting thrill of a headline can seem worth more than preserving one's dignity or safety. Stevie J, apparently seeking some spotlight, decides it's a good idea to challenge 50 Cent to what he calls a duel. If that idea sounds awkward, hold on tight because Stevie J is about to outdo his own awkwardness. He's taken it upon himself to showcase what it's like to party with Diddy, known to some by the nickname The Diddler. Stevie J posts a video showing off the glamorous, star-filled scene at one of these famous parties. For anyone ever curious about rubbing elbows with celebrities, Stevie J's social media gives them a front-row seat. Picture this scenario. It's Stevie J's birthday, and he's feeling pretty gutsy. He's there, supposedly as Diddy's buddy, and he decides to put everyone else at the bash in the spotlight. It's almost like he's giving away a complete guest list to any authorities who might be hiding around the corner, keeping an eye on the goings-on of the celebrity circle. Now, here's the kicker. These aren't the types of parties that regular people are usually curious about. What Stevie J is doing here seems kind of risky, almost as if he's putting his so-called friends in a tricky spot. He's making their private times into something anyone can watch. It's like he's turned real life into some kind of video game, where he's throwing out names and faces without really thinking about the consequences. This whole setup is a bit wild when you think about it. By lighting up the party like this, Stevie J isn't just sharing a fun night with friends. He's broadcasting it, making it a show for anyone who's watching. This could easily backfire, turning a private celebration into a public drama. It's like he's forgotten that these are real people, not characters in a game, and that there might be real results from treating their lives like entertainment. Watching Stevie J post about a Diddy party doesn't just hint at gossip. It screams of someone revealing too much. Some might say he's just sharing his life, but it feels more like he's pointing a big, unnecessary spotlight at others. If you were one of the celebrities caught in Stevie J's video, wouldn't you feel betrayed? He's essentially laying out a welcome mat for the feds, showing them who attends these high-profile gatherings. Imagine being a celebrity at that party. You're there to relax and have fun, but suddenly, you find yourself featured in a video that's circulating all over the internet. Your face, your presence at the party, it's all tagged and noted as if you're part of some exhibit. Thanks to Stevie, if law enforcement ever wanted a peek into Diddy's guest list, they've got a perfect starting point.
Follow breaking news out of Star Island. Several law enforcement agencies are raiding the home of hip-hop mogul P. Diddy.
And tonight, we are learning it may be tied to alarming allegations.
Stevie J's decision to broadcast details of a private party is just one example of how bizarre behavior can get under the glare of public attention. It shows that fame doesn't just change how others see you. It changes how you act and what you think is acceptable. It's almost like there's a switch that flips when someone gets famous. Suddenly, they're not just Joe from the block. They're part of a world where the rules seem to be different. They live life on a stage where every action can be scrutinized and privacy feels like a concept from another universe. As this unfolds, it's a vivid reminder of the strangeness of celebrity culture, where private lives become public entertainment, and where people can feel entitled to share more than they should. This kind of behavior isn't just weird. It's a spectacle that in many ways reflects the pressures and the oddities of living life in the spotlight.
Look at my hat, man. Look at my hat. Look how I show up on the Amalfi Coast, B.
So, when you think about it, maybe being ordinary isn't such a bad deal. In a world where fame can make you do strange things, where every moment can be broadcast for all to see, there's something comforting about simplicity, about being someone who can just be themselves without the whole world watching. In the end, isn't that a kind of freedom that we all deep down crave? Could Diddy's manipulations be even deeper than we know, potentially reshaping the music industry? Share your thoughts, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more controversial topics.